The September 28, 2010 meeting of the Human Services Committee will now come to order. Will you, the clerk, please call the roll?
Ms. Andrews? Mr. Daniele? Ms. Cayley? Mr. Lightfoot? Dr. Quattro? Mr. Rocco? Chairwoman Draw.
Here. Is there anyone signed up for public forum?
No speakers tonight.
No one present that would like to speak. The next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. You have before you the August 31st, 2010 minutes. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified by the end, any changes by the end of today. New business. The next item on the agenda is new business, Madam Clerk.
Referral 10-277.
Moved by Legislator Rocco, second by Legislator Quattro. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those, no. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. No opposed, item carries. Next item.
Referral 10-278.
Moved by Legislator Quattro, second by Legislator Daniele. Legislator Andrews? Is that right? Oh, okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and through you to the administration. If you took out the decrease of the $1.9 million or $2 million that we received for funding for the H1N1 and mass vaccination campaign last year, is this allocation on par to the amount that we have received in previous years?
Through you, Madam Chair, no, this is actually a reduction from what we had seen. About 5 or 6 years ago, when we were at our peak, we were at about $700,000 a year. So the trend has been downward in terms of public health funding for emergency preparedness. There are some other grants that are out there, and we hope that we can be competitive for them in the next few months, but nothing's a certainty.
Okay. Thank you. And then just following up, since this references H1N1, if you could just sort of give a status update in terms of what do you expect from that this year?
Through you, Madam Chair, I think that there has been a huge amount of increase in interest in influenza. The CDC is also recommending that a broader segment of the population, basically everybody over the age of 6 months, should get a flu shot this year. So that, to me, suggests that we will be giving out a lot of flu shots, and hopefully that means that we won't have a lot of influenza. I can't be sure of that, but that's my own prediction.
Okay, thank you.
Any Legislator Cayley?
Thank you. Through the chair, mentioned in this, and we've spoke on this before, was the Volunteer Medical Reserve Corps, and partially this would be funding for expansion. Could you just give me a little information of the size of the Reserve Corps now and what your expectations are?
Through you, Madam Chair, you know, I don't have those statistics on the tip of my tongue, so it might be better for me to get that for you and at a future time.
Thank you, that'd be fine.
Any other discussion? Then all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Referral 10-279. Acceptance of a
Moved
grant.
by Legislator Daniele, second by Legislator Rocco. Any discussion? Legislator Lightfoot.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chairman. I'm always interested about the car seats because I know at one point in time, I remember the fire department, we were actually installing car seats at one point, and it was always, and we still get people. We just had a gentleman come up to my firehouse last week who had a young moving toddler in the back of his car and trying to figure out how to get him latched down. Just through you, Madam Chairman, how many car seats were distributed last year?
Through you, Madam Chair, we're looking at the number of seats that were distributed over the course of the last several years. In some years, it's in the 50s. In one year, it bumped up to 138. We believe that it was 132 I believe it was 132 in the last full grant year. And then it was 62 part of the way through the year when we reported to the legislature last time. We weren't through the full grant year.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chairman, how many locations? I'm looking in the referral here. I know it's to receive a grant, but where are the car seats being installed at? Through you, Madam Chairman.
Through you, Madam Chair, there are a number of different agencies in the community that get this grant, and so there are some specific locations where car seats are installed. We tend to work through the families that we know in our own human services programs through WIC, but we do have some specialized, we have some specific sites that we go to. But generally, though, we don't take out an ad and invite a lot of people to come on a Saturday morning to a particular giveaway for car seats.
I guess what I'm trying to say to you, Madam Chairman, is, or trying to figure out, is how does the process, so a person in social service how does one know that the county is offering child seat service to them? How does one get connected that way? Through you, Madam Chairman.
Well, through you, Madam Chair, it's obviously a recommendation that starts in the pediatrician's office. And many of the pediatric offices that serve clients in the inner city know that we have this program. Also, when our home visitors are talking to expectant mothers or pregnant parenting moms, we talk to them about this. There seems to be a pretty good interest in this. We don't have any trouble giving them away. I don't think that there's been a citywide campaign or sort of a media campaign about this. The other thing, obviously, that happens is that these get passed around from child to child and from family to family. So it's sort of a rolling activity in our department.
So to you, Madam Chairman, thank you for that information. It's very helpful. So one gets referred on a referral basis, whether it be through the pediatric services they're receiving by going to the doctor or whatnot, or they home visits, and then based on that referral, the county then comes to the client?
The county could come, through you, Madam Chair, excuse me, the county could come to the client, or we could meet the client somewhere, actually hand them the car seat and install it for them and show them how to use it.
Thank you.
Legislator Cayley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one question through the chair on this. You spoke to chairs going from family to family when they're no longer used, and I know that some of the guidelines have changed, and part of the safety of a chair is the history of it. And I'm wondering, as we're distributing chairs, is at least some information going out about giving or passing along car seats that specifically addresses, in the case of an accident, if a car seat has been involved in an accident, that you would urge that the family not pass this car seat along, or anything to do with just, I say, safe transfer of one car seat from one family to another.
Through you, Madam Chair, I'm not quite sure where to answer, how to answer that. It is very, very confusing. I don't work on this every day, but from time to time I have to pull out the chart and study which particular age groups and size child are recommended for which particular style of seat. Then we have all of these recalls that are occurring all the time. It must be maddening for families. I think that there's a tremendous amount of use of inappropriate and poorly fitting car seats and car seats that are perhaps not in as good shape as they could be. I don't know that there's any particular campaign, though, that has set out with that as a goal, that is to make sure that people are using safe car seats and that they're really fitted properly. we do it, we're really focused on, in this particular program, we're really focused on giving away the approximately 100 or 150 car seats that we get from the state. And hopefully we don't have to deal with that issue of the used car seat too much in this program.
Thank you.
Other discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. No opposed. Next item.
Referral 10-280, acceptance of a grant.
Moved by Legislator Rocco, second by Legislator Quattro. Any discussion? Legislator Cayley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through the chair, could you tell me, because I didn't see it in here, what the targeted neighborhoods are at this point?
Through you, Madam Chair, the targeted neighborhoods are 3 zip codes, 14609, 14621, and 14611. We rotate through the years. I have a little chart here. If someone, maybe I can just hold it up and sort of show you where they are. So if here's the inner loop and here's the Genesee River, 14609 is over on the eastern side of the city. 14621 is immediately north of the downtown area, and 14611 is in southwest. And we will be rotating those, as I mentioned, to try to get to all of the neighborhoods where we have not so healthy neighborhoods.
Through the chair, so if I understand, right now you're rotating through those 3 neighborhoods,
That's correct.
and you're hopeful to go through other
Those
zones, or just those 3 neighborhoods? I'm sorry, through the chair.
through you, through the chair. No, those are the neighborhoods, the zip codes that we will be targeting for this year. And then next year we will target other neighborhoods, or if we haven't completed the job in one or several of these neighborhoods, they might stay on the list for a while. They do tend to come up about every 3 or 4 years. You can imagine that the number of high-risk zip codes in the city of Rochester, there aren't really that many of them. And so we have been in some of these zip codes before.
Thank you. With this rotation that you're working on right now, do some of the other healthy programs that you offer, I think the family nurse program, do they mirror the same areas, or are we covering different ground in those programs?
Through you, Madam Chair. Well, the different programs that we manage in our department, like the WIC program and the Nurse-Family Partnership, they all have different referral patterns. So, you know, sometimes people will call us up on the phone and say, how do I sign up for WIC? And obviously that's very different than the Healthy Neighborhoods program, where one of our staff actually knock on the door and say, we're in the neighborhood and we're trying to identify where there are hazards in properties that might be harmful for kids. It is probably not a coincidence, though, that many of our families are served in multiple programs. That if you looked at a map of where we're seeing a lot of families in the WIC program, probably looks a lot like where we're seeing a lot of families in the Nurse-Family Partnership. We do some cross referral, if that's what you're referring to.
Yes, through the chair. I think it's for, I think what I'm getting at really is not so much the WIC part of the program, but the nurse family program, when you're having, it's sort of merging these programs together, so it's a bit more intense in a particular area, covering more things at one time when the door is open, certainly with the nurse family program. That's sort of what I'm getting at, just to see if it's an intentional type of overlap with programs that definitely just work off each other.
Through you, Madam Chair, we have done a little bit of that, but each of these grants, unfortunately, has their sort of deliverables, and sometimes that's not so easy. There are many, many programs in the community, and sometimes we partner with a program that isn't part of our department. So, for instance, when we're in a particular neighborhood, for the Healthy Neighborhoods program, we may work very closely with the fire department in that particular area, particularly because one of the areas of interest is in fire prevention. So that isn't really part of our department, but it's another community organization that we partner with.
Okay, thank you.
Legislator Lightfoot.
Yes, to you, Madam Chairman, to the administration. The 14611, I'm very excited to hear that. I mean, we're doing a lot of work over there in the Jefferson Avenue area, and it's one of the focus investment areas for the city of Rochester. And we do the Cut the Violence program for the kids, which is really about getting them information. I'm be really happy to receive any materials or information that you guys may be passing out. I see the grant is for purchasing supplies, equipment to run the program. Are there materials, I guess is my question, that is being passed out to these residents in these areas through you, Madam Chairman?
Through you, Madam Chair, yes, there are supplies. There are some real things that we're giving people, not just advice. They usually have to do with safety, child-proofing your home, locks, electrical outlet covers, smoke detectors, things like that are all part of this process.
Right. And through you, Madam Chairman, I'm just letting you know that we would look to partner with you, to be one of those partners with you in helping to get out that information at many of our numerous events that we're currently having and will be having in the future in the Jefferson Avenue area.
Is there a contact person that you would recommend?
Yes, our Stephan from our office, who's here with us, would be a good contact person to share information related with events we're having, what materials that you guys might have available, how can we help and assist and partner with you in getting this information out. To you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. We'll make contact with Stephan.
So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 10-282, acceptance of a
Moved
grant.
by Legislator Quattro, second by Legislator Daniele. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries. Is there any other matters to come before this? Legislator Anders.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And at the conclusion of our meeting last month, I asked for confirmation that the allocation from the state for a child care block grant was going to be $34.3 million, as well as confirmation that that is, in fact, a decrease of the current year's allocation. And then I asked for what the plan was for addressing the fact that I believe this to be a decreased allocation. I haven't received any responses to those questions yet, so I would ask them again today.
Madam Chair, that is an accurate figure. I believe the number was $34.3 million is the award this year. That is $1.2 million less than what we had received previously. The plan to administer this year's grant has not been developed yet, but once it is, I'd be glad to share that with the committee members.
Thank you. I'll look forward to receiving that. And also, if possible, if Commissioner Reed could be present at the committee meeting next month so we could talk about this issue in a little more detail, that would be great.
That would be fine, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you.
There being no further business, the September 28th, 2010 meeting of the Human Services Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Human Services Committee is scheduled for October 26th at 6 p.m. Thank you.